Hi everyone, today it's a pregnancy related video. I'm going to talk about the 10 symptoms that no one tells you about. When we think about pregnancy, we think about morning sickness, cravings, swelling, like your fingers and your feet gets bigger, that kind of things. But there's a lot of other symptoms that I'm experiencing and I've never heard of them before, not being related to pregnancy. So I'm 33 weeks pregnant now. What's funny in my case is that I have those two apps on my phone that update me weekly on my pregnancy, and every week I'm like, I have something weird happening one day, and I'm like, okay, that's weird, but that's one, it's one time, so you just move on and try to forget about it. But then it happens again, and 2 days in a row, and then I'm like, let me check if it could be related to my pregnancy. So I Google and it looks like it is, and I'm like, what? And then I get my weekly update on my phone like the next day, and it tells me all the symptoms week by week, and it often tell me, oh, this week you could experience that exact symptom that I just had a couple of days before. It looks like I'm just a little bit ahead of everything every week. So here are the 10 symptoms that I already experienced or know about that I'm gonna tell you, but I'm only 33 weeks, so I'm sure there's another few surprises for me around the corner until I get to my due date. Leg cramps. I have been having those almost from the beginning, and I had no clue this was something that could come with your pregnancy. I've never heard of that before, and some people, when I tell them, are actually surprised, and a lot of people who have been pregnant before have not experienced it. But it's apparently still pretty common, and for me, they were like awful in the beginning. I can't remember really how far along they were the worst, but they would wake me up at night, and some of them would stay all day long and all week long. Like I was, you could feel the tension in my legs. Like, I mean, I could feel it all day long. And some of them, one time they lasted for like a week. Like I had a bad one in one leg, and then it started in the other leg, and then both of them were like always present for a full week. It means like it was really hard for me to even walk. And that, I mean, I've had cramps before, and I've had leg cramps before, and then they hurt like hell, but I've never had that kind of leg cramps. Like this is above everything I've experienced before. I try to comfort myself now that I'm getting closer to the end of my pregnancy that contractions are probably gonna feel okay compared to my leg cramps. They honestly kept me up at night. I've cried because of them. Yeah, they've been lasting so long sometimes, and it kind of calmed down at some point, but they are back. And literally 2 nights ago I was just awake in the middle of the night trying to move my leg in a way that would like help the cramp pass, and I was just crying, and I was just so done with this. The leg cramps are horrible. It's the symptom that I have the longest, I think, in this pregnancy, and it's definitely the most annoying to me. Heartburn. We talk about morning sickness all the time, but I feel like we don't talk about heartburn as much. I was saying in my 20 weeks update video that I was very lucky. I didn't have morning sickness, I didn't have that many symptoms, but I started having heartburn around maybe 6 months It started at night, just when I was going to bed. I was like, I feel a little sick, you know, like it was just, I would say like maybe 10-15 minutes and I would eventually fall asleep, and it wasn't that bad. But more recently it's been very annoying at times, because I would get them quite early in the evening and they would last until I go to bed. And I mean, I actually can't go to bed because I have them. A couple of nights, despite me being like super tired and having to get up at 6 in the morning to go to work, I was still awake at 11 because each time I was kind of just laying down a little bit, I would just like be really close to throw up. My OBGYN told me that most over-the-counter medication for that are okay to take, but I don't really like taking medication at all if I can avoid it. So I did buy some, and I only used it once because luckily it calmed down, and I have not experienced those bad lasting heartburns lately. Skin tags. I honestly never thought that could be pregnancy related. I did notice I had more skin tags. Actually, my husband noticed before me. I didn't notice I had so many, and I kind of just want to snatch them away. And then I realized it was just getting more and more and more, and it's a lot on my chest. And I'm not sure why. I guess it's like a hormone stuff like everything else, but it's just bothering me. But I don't think there's anything I can do about that, and it's not, I mean, it's not like it's hurting or anything. It's just like like if I touch myself, my skin is not as smooth. I feel them, and it's just I just want to get rid of them. Hair growth or hair loss. In my case, it's more like hair growth. I prefer that than losing my hair because I don't really have like thick hair already, so I'm okay. My hair definitely grows a little bit faster, and I mean everywhere. Like I feel like now if I really want to have like clear legs, I do need to shave twice a week instead of just one time. Luckily it's the winter, a lot of pants. Husband is not at home. I don't have to put that much effort, but it does bother me to just have hair on my legs. I just don't like it for myself, so I shave more. Running or bleeding nose or nasal congestion, everything that comes from your nose. It's not said much, but a lot of women who are pregnant are congested, and in my case I do have bleedings, mostly from one side, which I don't know why, but it is a little scary at first when you just start bleeding, and it happens several times, but it's nothing. So this is like a normal thing. Something I did notice also pretty early in the pregnancy, but I think it goes with all that congestion, is that I'm breathing more loudly or more heavily. Like I've never been someone who snores, but when I go to bed and everything is silent, I can hear me breathe. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of pregnant women end up snoring when they were not snoring originally. This one is a little TMI, but we're talking about babies, so you know there's some stuff going on downstairs, but it's the discharge. Because my TTC journey was so long, I've read a lot about pregnancy, so I did know about this one, but it's something I learned because I was reading so much into it. I don't think I have anyone who ever told me about that, which I understand it's not something that you want to talk about, but yeah, you just have a lot of discharge down there. And as long as it's not blood and stuff like that, this is also normal. Since we're already talking about what's going on downstairs, you are going to feel like you need to pee every 15 minutes sometimes. And this is something that of course we heard. We know that especially at the end of the pregnancy, because you have someone like kind of sitting on your bladder, you need to get to the bathroom pretty often. But I feel like this is worse than what we've been told, because sometimes I'm literally sitting on the toilet and I feel like I'm peeing and I still feel like I need to pee more, and then I get up and I feel like I need to pee more, so I try again and then I'm like, baby, I'm gonna go back to that desk and we're not coming back to that bathroom, so if there's more it needs to go now. And then I go to my desk and I need to pee again. Like, that's insane. I just feel like it's harder to empty your bladder, and maybe that's why you have that feeling that it's full. I really don't know. But what was also a little bit more surprising to me is that at times I literally feels like my baby is in my vagina, which I know is not the case, but I think it's called pelvic pressure. And I think when it starts going down, I don't know, but it's just like this weird, very uncomfortable, sometimes a little bit hurtful sensation, like in the vagina. Now we go to the number 2. I think we have all heard that you get gassy when you're pregnant, but a lot of women get very constipated, and because of that they get hemorrhoids. And something that I just found out is that at the end of the pregnancy it's like the other way around, you get diarrhea. Apparently it's your body's way of preparing for the birth. This one is a huge surprise, and it's hurting like hell too. And it is that you get sometimes carpal tunnel syndrome. And I have it. And I have it so bad. At first, again, it started slowly. Like, I was waking up and my hands were hurting a little bit. And it would last like 15 minutes and then I would go about my day and everything was fine. But it just kept getting worse. I ended up waking up and not being able to use my hands at all. And sometimes, so, you know, each time I wake up at night, like, I try to move all my fingers because I noticed that it helps. Because, you know, you're pregnant, you have to get up 3 times a night just to go to the bathroom. So each time I wake up, I try to move my fingers because then it makes it a little less bad in the morning. But it's still bad, and sometimes in good days, like, I can use my fingers, all of my fingers really well, but my thumb are really hurting. And it could be like it's just hurting a little bit when I do something, or it could be like I can't do some things. Like the other day, literally in my birth class, I could not open my bottle of water because it was just hurting too much. I could not, and it's not like it was not a new bottle of water. I just couldn't open it. So I bought those plants that I'm supposed to sleep with, but they've been hurting a lot, so I've only tried 2 nights. I felt like it was a little better in the morning, but it was really hurting at night. So I don't know if I'm really winning there, but maybe I'm just putting them too tight. So I'm gonna keep trying a few more times and see if it helps. And the last one is the restless leg syndrome. This one, I mostly have it at work, so I'm lucky I don't have it at night yet. Hopefully, no. But I mostly have it at work because I'm sitting at a desk all day long, and I have some days where suddenly, like, I don't know, like my legs are bothering me and I need to move, and you don't see what I'm doing. But anyway, I'm trying to move my leg and I have to get up and I have to walk and I have to... Ooh, it's just annoying because, you know, I need to be sitting at my computer, but each time I sit down it comes back, and it just feels like there is no solution for it. It's not every day, but it is pretty regular. I really don't know how many women get that, but I feel like it's more common than we think. This is it for this video. I'm hoping if you are pregnant and getting those symptoms, then you find out that it's just normal and you are okay, or that it is pregnancy related, or that if you are the baby's kicking but if you are trying to conceive, then you know what to expect a little bit more. And let me know if you are actually pregnant, or you have been pregnant and you experience some of those symptoms, or if you have some other weird symptoms that I didn't experience or didn't think of mentioning in this video. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I see you soon. Bye. By the way, I wanted to show you my belly. So like I said, I'm 33 weeks and I'm not sure to say, pretty big, and as you can see, I get those wonderful stretching marks now. I didn't have them until pretty recently. I want to say those arrived like 2 weeks ago, and those are new. And I also get the wonderful outie. So I'm getting real close. 7 weeks to go. My baby is already 5.2 pounds. It is a little big.